Hey everyone, welcome to Unveiling. My name is Jordan Bain. My passion is to help people and organizations find their true purpose, develop the soul of leadership, and create fulfillment and peace. On this podcast, we have deep conversations about what lies beyond the veils to explore the greatest mysteries of life so that we can have joy in all those good things. I'm a certified international Kabbalah instructor and a senior guide in the Modern Mystery School. My guest tonight is Adelie LaViola. She's a mom of three. She's a certified guide as well with the Modern Mystery School and also a certified holistic nutritionist. Her passion is service and to help other moms remember who they are and to live their purpose. So tonight we're going to talk about blood cells and some very cool sessions that we offer in the Mystery School. Thank you for coming on, Adelie. Thank you for suggesting this.
Yeah.
And it's a pleasure to have you.
Yeah, thank you for introducing me. So like I said, I'm a mom of three. I'm a certified guide and I'm a nutritionist. So everything's going to line up as to why I'm talking about what I'm talking about tonight. I reached out to you because I did a little bit of an experiment a few months ago with a live blood analysis technician, and it blew my mind. And I haven't shared the results with anybody, so this is the first time anybody is really seeing this. So I'm really excited to share this with you.
Awesome. I can't wait.
So I'll just get right into it. So I was, in the winter months, I wasn't feeling well. I was like, not feeling very good. And the medical system wasn't really like leading me in the direction I wanted to go. And as a certified holistic nutritionist, I knew about a live blood analysis since 2013 and have been really kind of intimidated to do it, to kind of look at my blood underneath the microscope to see what's going on. So finally I had enough and I found a lady and I was like, let's do this. So I, they literally do a prick of blood. So I'll kind of explain to you what it is. You do a drop of blood on a little glass thingy. Those things, what are they called? We put
a slide.
Yeah, a slide. So you put it and they put it underneath the microscope, and your blood gets shown onto a screen, onto a TV, and you get to see your blood live, and you get to see what it looks like. So I went.
Wait, so this has not been stained. It has not been preserved. It's just literally your blood under a microscope. Like the blood cells are all still moving around. They're all still alive.
They're all still alive. I have videos to show you what it looks like. So I went there and I was like, wow, this is so fascinating. Like, I just love this stuff. So I looked at the lady and I was like, hey, would you like to do an experiment with me? Would you like to test both of our blood before the life activation and do one after the life activation? And we also did one during. So what that means is we took her blood, put it underneath the microscope, left it on the TV. So this blood is not in her. It's on the table across the room, and I'm doing the life activation. So, So I didn't really take the experiment seriously. I didn't set up any cameras. I didn't really do good pictures the first time around because even though I've been with the school and, studying this for 9 years, I was still like skeptical myself. I was like, what can really show up, right? So anyways, I'm, a few minutes into the healing, you'd say I'm at the pedals, and all of a sudden her blood on the screen that's not in her blood and her is on the table automatically stops flowing the way that it's going, and it starts to flow clockwise. And I was like, what is going on? I was like, oh my gosh, her blood just stopped dead, in the middle of it and just started turning clockwise. I was like, okay. I was like, well, I have to hold the energy. I didn't get the camera because I was just holding the energy and wanted to finish the session.
Right.
So lo and behold, both of our blood didn't change too much, but what we noticed is we had more white blood cells the second time when we did the after. So I looked at her and I said, hey, do you want to do the full spirit activation? Because I just feel like I wanted to do this properly because she had eaten and I didn't. So our bloods were like, I wanted us to both be fasting, have less variables and let it, So she's like, okay, sure. So I was like, okay, I went. And this is my third time checking my blood. And I'm going to be very vulnerable with you guys. What you're going to see, and she ended up finding out, is that I had parasites. So I'm going to go and share my screen with you to show you what we found. So just give me a second.
Sure.
Let's see Facebook. Yeah. All righty.
There we go.
Okay, perfect. So this is my blood at 10:55 a.m. And what you're looking at here, you're supposed to be seeing like nice circles, like hydrated blood. This is not hydrated blood. This is very sticky blood. Everything stick together. I haven't eaten. I didn't do any rituals. I literally just drank water, and that is it. And this is what my blood looked like at 10:55 a.m. And then here's a little video of it as well. So what you're seeing here is little colonies built by the parasites. So the parasites were threatened by the protocols that I were doing, and they were creating these, what are they called? We call them countries, but there's an actual medical term for it. So you can see my blood is really sticky. There aren't a lot of white blood cells, and I'll show you what they look like in the next slide, but it just didn't look like healthy blood. And I was in the middle of a cleanse as well. So the parasites felt threatened by what was happening. So an hour and a bit goes by. This is what my blood ends up looking like. It goes from looking, you can actually see them. You could see the littles, they started to separate. I literally had more water and a piece of toast, and I did the full spirit activation. And you see these little, like over here, these little orbs over here, those are white blood cells. In the previous images, there weren't any of those white blood cells. And if we zoom in even more, you'll see there's more separation. You could see the blood cells more. So it was just really fascinating for me to see, as a practitioner, my blood change more than hers in a sense. So hers did change as well. She got more white blood cells as well. There was like more forming. So for me, it was just really fascinating to see, like,
do you have pictures of her blood cells also?
I do, but I don't have written consent to share it. So yeah, it's kind of her thing and that. So I wanted to show mine. So yeah, hers kind of looked the same before and after, but the only thing that was different was she had the white blood cells. And the life activation full spirit, we always promote that it helps to build immunity. And it just like I said, it just blew my mind that my blood changed that much in an hour and a half. She even said, she was like, it's as if you've been hydrating all day. From that point to that point, someone would have had to hydrate all day long in order to look there for their blood cells to look like that.
Interesting. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Wow. So this was this past winter. I mean, are you going to do more with this? Like, it's a kind of, mind-blowing result.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So I looked into the course because I'm a certified holistic nutritionist. I can actually do the live blood analysis course myself.
Got it.
So it's actually inspired me to do the course and get the equipment myself, because I'm going to be such a science nerd. I'm going to do this for everything. Like, even just like toning, like what does the blood, what does toning do to your blood? All of our other rituals. What does this ritual do to your blood at this point? Like, I am going to have so much fun with this.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but we're just in the middle of transition of moving, so it won't be for a while. But yeah, it was really fascinating to see that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And like I said, we spoke before, is like, within the mystery school, we talk about, being of service and how the light comes through us and then like goes through to the practitioner. For me, that's evidence. That's proof right there that when you heal, I heal, the light comes in, we're all healing. And also the importance of like, maintaining your energy with your rituals. It has to
be. Yours changed so much more is so interesting too.
Yeah, well, the way I viewed it was, like for her, it was like an exercise. She had just done, lifted weights for the first time or the second time, the full spirit. And she didn't really get to see that many results. But I have been doing rituals and healings, and I've been doing life activation since 2015. So I feel like my blood was able to respond quicker because I work on my blood. I work on myself more. It's like I work out more than I would. She does, kind of like, that's kind of how I felt it was showing up that way.
Right.
Yeah. And she's
from a spiritual perspective, you're working more energy in your body more of the time. And so your blood responds faster. or
Exactly.
responds in a greater capacity to that
Yeah.
session.
That's
So you
how I
did,
took it. Yeah.
that's so cool. I
Because she's
mean,
not an
it's,
initiate. She just did the life activation in the full spirit, right? I'm an initiate, ritual master. And I serve all the time, right? So the blood just kind of was like, oh, here we are. We got our daily dose of vitamins. We're operating now.
mm-hmm. Yeah. And there's so many things that could be controlled to make those experiments like more significant. So yeah, and it's hard when we see clients. I mean, to study stuff would be great, but we're so busy as practitioners working with people that, when do we take this time to, and how would you also introduce that to your clients? Like, oh, we're going to do a blood analysis of you. If they're coming for that, that's one thing. But then, if they're,
Well, that's what I kind of like want to do with the live blood analysis is I want to create an experience for people. I want people to come and experience. Let's look at your blood before an activation or even before an initiation. What does your structure look like before? And the reason why I was so attracted to do this is because I come across a lot of left-minded people who are like, it's just hocus pocus. Stuff doesn't work. And it's like, the more we can create more contact of like, tangible results and to show the left brain peoples that this stuff does work. It does work and help me to transform, and that alchemical process is real. And that for me, that was live proof of an alchemical process. Within an hour and a half, my blood completely shifted. And I had more white blood cells, more active, ready to fight and help me stay strong.
Yeah. It's so interesting too. I think about studies that have been done for Reiki, for example. And one of the things that's been consistently shown in all the studies that have been done on Reiki where they've measured for this is that coenzyme Q10, which is related to metabolism, goes up dramatically, sometimes like doubles in terms of its presence when there's testing done for that. So, sometimes we really need to look at what is the right thing to test for.
No, you're right.
There could be so many things that are changing, and if we're looking in this area but not that area, we might miss something. So it's the design of those sorts of studies really matters, and of course the controlling for different factors. Like, ideally all the study participants would have either been fasting, like you said, or eaten the same thing. You're gonna have to have like a certain baseline established. And every person's blood starts out different. So then how do you do that as a quantitative study? What is an improvement in blood? Does everyone who's doing that study know how to read blood the same way?
Right. Well, for me, like what it was like the image. It was just like you can look at the two images and they are vastly different. Right. So, but yeah, everything else plays a factor in all of that and how you can control it. Like that's why I said the only way I could take control of this and refine it is I have to bring it into my own hands. I have to learn how to do this so that I can like properly control the testing, and in a few years, maybe by next year, have more refined and better results. Because this was kind of just done for fun with a person I found off the street and was right. And but yeah, I have so many ideas of like how I want to test that and refine it and really play with it and learn more about the blood and learn more about myself and how the way we think in these modalities, these ancient modalities, how they can actually help transform us.
That's awesome. Cool. Anything else that you'd want to say to people? I mean, this can be a short podcast because there's only certain things we need to discuss, but anything else that you want to say to people just about, what this means and any words of wisdom for what people can take away?
Yeah, I mean, if you're coming across this podcast and you have been humming and hawing about the mystery school and you've known about it or you're hearing about it the first time, take this as a sign. Maybe this is something for you to consider in your life, like especially if you've been really super skeptical about the path, or even if you are on the path and you're watching this and you're initiating, you're debating whether you should become a life activation practitioner or not, or to be of service, and you're questioning it. take it as a sign that being of service and stepping into that leadership role is where I find the most fulfillment on this path in my life, is stepping up into leadership and taking action.
Absolutely.
So if you have been a life activation practitioner, you haven't activated in a really long time, I hope this inspires you to go out, because this is going to truly serve you in so many ways, that is obviously in the unseen, because we can't see our blood. And the fact that I was able to show what my blood as a practitioner looked like and afterwards, and to see that shift and that change, I think let this be that inspiration and spark to get you moving, because we have a mission.
It's wild to me too that it started flowing clockwise. I mean, we talk about the flow of energy moving clockwise, and that's the way the energy is supposed to flow. And then to literally see it moving clockwise on a slide, like blood cells moving clockwise when you're doing the activation itself. Like during the activation, someone's blood on the other side of the room under a microscope starts moving around in a clockwise spiral.
Yeah.
That's
and it was crazy, because it was in her place too, right? So I had to in my space, it's very set up, it's very controlled, when it comes to energy. And it blew my mind that was happening. And in that moment, instant regret for not having a camera, up and recording that, because I literally froze. I was in the middle of the healing, and I froze because I had to pause and watch her blood just start to flow clockwise. It absolutely blew my mind.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Really cool.
Awesome, Adelie. Well, thank you for coming on and sharing about this. It feels just like an intro to whatever might come next. So I'm really excited to hear about it. And I'm really glad that you reached out and shared this, and hope tons of people learn about this and we get the word out. So please, if you're watching this and you want to share it with friends, like you said, Adelie, maybe friends or family or people who are skeptical, or if that's you, click share, comment on it. We'd love to hear from you. So Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Adelie.
Thank you for having me. And I will definitely let you know when I do another one, and we'll share the results.
Awesome. That sounds great. Take care, everyone. Be well.